To me, like, travel nursing is like investing in stocks. You are investing your time to make a great return. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It is Michelle here. If you are new here, hey, welcome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join this family. Go ahead and hit it. Today's video is going to be super informative. As you guys know, I am a travel nurse, so I'm going to sit down and tell you guys my experience. Before we get into this video though, I want to lay the foundation down and tell you guys what travel nursing actually is. I took some notes here and I'm going to share with you guys the pros and cons, and then I'm going to go into my experience. So basically, travel nursing is when you are contracted through a travel nursing agency to provide care for many different parts of the country. So as a traveler, you can choose to just travel over the country with your nursing license. Although there are 50 states in the United States, having a compact license, which is what I have, I'm allowed to work in multiple different states as opposed to places like California and like just the bigger states, and where nurses do make more money, their license are kind of constricted. So in order for you to venture into different states, you do need to acquire that specific state's nursing license. So it's a process to begin, but once you get all the paperwork done, like, you're free to go flourish and just make as much money as you can possibly make. Although the term travel nursing does indicate that you get to leave your comfort zone, you can also travel locally. You can still participate in the financial benefits of travel nursing locally, in where you don't leave your comfort zone. But with that, you're not going to be making as much money as someone who is a long distance travel nurse because of the stipends. So as a local travel nurse, you're going to be making a lot more money, but the government is allowed to tax every single penny you make. Meanwhile, as a long distance travel nurse, which is considered 50 miles and over from your residence, you get stipends. So in your contract, the travel agency provides money for housing and food, which are called stipends. And that amount of money is non-taxable. The government does not touch that money. All of it comes to you, which is what makes long distance travel nursing a lot more lucrative than local traveling because the taxes. But other than that, they're both great financial means to increase your income. So you can sign a 13-week contract, which is what most hospitals ask for, but people nowadays are doing 4-week contracts, 6-week contracts, 8-week contracts. So you don't have to completely stay at a place for 3 months. You can cut that shorter, but a lot of hospitals do require you to sign a contract for 13 weeks. So I'm going to give you guys 5 pros of being a travel nurse, and I'm going to talk about 5 cons of being a travel nurse, and then I will just go into my own personal experience as a traveler. So the pros, first of all, the money. As a travel nurse, you are making a lot more money than what you would have made as a staffed nurse. To me, like, travel nursing is like investing in stocks. You are investing your time to make a great return in a short period of time. You're dedicating your time to make $40,000, $50,000 in 3 months if you sign a 13-week contract. So it is extremely lucrative. That's how I see it in my mind. I am investing my time for a greater return. The money is definitely the best pro about travel nursing, and the specialty you work in also determines how much you'll be making. So right now, ICU travel nurses and like L&D travel nurses do make a lot of money. So if you're in nursing school right now and you're thinking about ways to truly bank on your nursing degree, go into these specialties when you graduate, because that's where the bucks are in terms of travel nursing. Another pro is the fact that you get paid every Friday. So instead of getting paid bi-weekly as a staff nurse, you get paid weekly. So Fridays are literally my favorite days because I get to see money in my bank account. This motivates me to work, to pick up more shifts, and just to invest that time within that short period of time so that I can enjoy my life later. Pro number 3 is the fact that you get to network with different people. The hospital that I'm currently at right now, I truly enjoy working there. Like, it's such a diverse place and I feel at home. I have connected with so many people there. Y'all, I'm the type of person that, I don't know, thank you God for my personality. I merge in so well that a lot of them think I'm staffed. A lot of them think that I'm a staff nurse, like, just because I just get along with a lot of the people there. I can relate to them. People don't really see me as a traveler, which is a good thing. And I'm very open in talking to them and trying to recruit them, trying to tell them to leave their job so they can go travel, because there's so much money into travel nursing. I am that nurse that will tell you to quit your staff nursing job, because it ain't worth it. Pro number 4 is the fact that you get to experience how different hospitals operate. You get to be well versed in the many charting systems there are. You get to be well versed in the many equipments there are. Because of capitalism, you know, every hospital in the United States is not the same. They use different charting systems, different equipments, as like IVs, pumps, all of that. The more you travel, the more exposed you become to these things, and then the more flexible you become. Therefore, you are building a great resume. Pro number 5, you choose when you want to work within the year. Although as a traveler, before you sign on to your contract, of course, asking if self-scheduling is a part of it, because you know you will then get to choose your own schedule in terms of that. In the overall scheme, within the year, as a traveler, you get to choose the months and where you want to work. You can just bank out 6 months and then just retire for the other 6 months of the year. Just because of how lucrative it is, you can do that. So as a traveler, you have the option in choosing when you want to work. So those were my 5 pros. I'm sure you guys can think about more pros. If you are a traveler, definitely leave a comment about a pro you have experienced that I did not mention. Cons is, as a traveler, you kind of get the sucky assignments. You know, sometimes the very super sick people, sometimes the undesirable patients, you know, patients on isolation, things like that. They would not want to give that to their staff nurse, so they'll give you those kind of assignments. So, you know, the assignments you get as a traveler can suck sometimes, but hey, you're getting paid a lot more than the staff nurses there. So, you know, it just comes with the territory. Con number 2 is the fact that you float. You're the first to float as a traveler. I get floated to the ED, I get floated to IMC. I have not floated to the med-surg floor, because the day they do that, I'm quitting. I'm just kidding, but even IMC is too much for me. Like, I cannot. I don't know how people have more than 2 patients at a time. I just can't. I cannot do it. But yeah, when I do get floated to the ED, I take care of the ICU patients that are boarding in the ED. So technically, I'm still an ICU nurse, but I'm taking care of those patients in the ED, and that's what's considered floating. Third con is the fact that you get tripled. Once again, the sucky assignments comes to you, and if you guys are so understaffed that they have to give one nurse 3 critically ill patients, you're going to be the nurse that gets that patient, because once again, you are getting paid a lot more than the staff nurses there, so you get tripled most of the time as an ICU nurse. Number 4 is the fact that you get lonely as a traveler, especially if you go miles away from where you are. You will get lonely. No amount of money will keep you warm at night, okay? No amount of money is going to comfort you when you need comfort. So yeah, as a traveler, you will get lonely, which is why it's fun to travel with friends, with some sisters. If you're married, you know, with your husband. People are doing that these days, and I'm just so here for it. So in order to combat the loneliness that does come with traveling, guys, as much fun as it sounds, trust me, you will get lonely. Try to combat that by going with your friends and involving your loved ones into it. Con number 5 is the fact that you might not make meaningful connections with people, because you are at your contract for such a short period of time. You might not build rapport or like build like a family type feel with your coworkers. But hey, if you have friends, then you'll be fine. If you're not such a social person, you'll be fine. But those are my cons, guys. My 5 pros and my 5 cons. Okay, so now that you guys have heard the pros and cons, I'm just gonna go into my experience and my career as a nurse. So I've been a critical care nurse now for 4 years. I graduated from nursing school. I went straight to the ICU because I knew that's where I wanted to be. I enjoyed critical care. I liked the acuity. I liked how patients were intubated, sedated on the vents with 1,000 drips. That kind of thing excited me. And also, I was so encouraged by the nurses that worked on those units, because I thought they were just so smart. ICU nurses to me were like the smartest people, and I'm like, Michelle, you're smart, just go over there, you can do it. Even though my first year sucked, I was crippled with anxiety almost every single shift, but I pushed through it, and now I can say that by the grace of God, you know, I'm a lot more confident in my skills and in my career as a registered nurse. So please do not let your anxiety and your fear kill your dream of being an ICU nurse, guys. Go straight forward. You will get comfortable. the more exposure you get to that environment. So do not stop because you feel anxious. Anxiety is very normal. But anyways, I was a new grad ICU nurse for 1 year. I got my experience and then I went to the PACU for about 6 months. So a year and a half into being a nurse, I'm like, Michelle, even though you like the PACU, the routine, the monotony of things, you're losing your skills. So just go back to the ICU. So even while I was working as a full-time PACU nurse, I still had a part-time ICU job on the side to maintain my ICU skills. Before I started travel nursing back in 2019, I was a nurse for 2 years in the critical care setting, a year and a half in the ICU and then 6 months to 1 year in the PACU. After I gained my skills, I went straight to travel nursing, and so that's how long it took me before I started travel nursing, 2 years as a nurse. And you guys, as a travel nurse, you do not get orientation. So you really need to hone on to your skills, really get rooted into your skills before you travel, because you're going to be put in really uncomfortable situations and you're required to know what to do. So if you feel like your skills are not up to par, please give yourself time before you jump into travel nursing. Remember that your license is at risk here, okay? Do not chase the money if you feel like you're not going to be a competent nurse. You're going to kill somebody. Please don't do that. Get your skills together and then start traveling. This money will be here. Do not risk your license. But anywho, so I've been a nurse now for 4 years and my background is critical care. I love the ICU, I love the PACU. Right now I'm doing both and I love it. My experience this time around as a travel nurse was significantly better than it was back in 2019. The community I was a part of was a lot more welcoming. I like the hospital I work in. I feel comfortable there, so therefore like my experience overall has been better. And right now, because of COVID and of course the staffing shortage and everything, travel nursing is extremely lucrative, so I will encourage everybody to go into travel nursing if they can. But that was my experience, guys. I hope this video was helpful. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and if you're a fellow traveler, please share gems. That is chit chat in the comments. But yeah, thank you guys for watching and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.